first episode we've had in about 90 days. It's been quite a while. But I do thank you for joining me. This is a very special episode. Most of my subscribers, most of my followers are probably wondering where the hell I went. What happened? Why did the upload stop? Why are you no longer on Instagram, Facebook, all that? We're going to get to that. But I want to pretty much explain to you what I've been dealing with from right about August 5th to now. And why I haven't been doing the uploads and why I've kind of faded away from social media and fish, because they've kind of taken a back burner. I had a back injury, most of you know, about 2 years ago. Very serious back injury, caused issues with my legs and my hip, my right leg. I have a lot of problems with it. Even to this day, I have problems with it. So lifting, pulling, all the things that come with maintaining these tanks, I'm not able to do anymore. It's really unfortunate because of what I've been able to do over the last 3 years with these fish. Going back, the very first incident that pretty much started this whole downward spiral was back on August 5th when I came back from a vacation. Went away for a few days. I did a water change before I left. Everything was good. Everybody was eating. Everybody was fine. But when I came back, I noticed this tank here, which is the Haitiensis tank, had an explosive, huge algae bloom. Water was all green. Filtration, everything was good, but the filtration had been caked with the algae. It's like almost like it had grown over the sponge filters here. It was all over the rocks and everything else. So I jumped on it, did a 90% water change, treated it with erythromycin and general cure. Treated both of them, you know, because they're both in the same tank. I didn't do any separation or anything like that. They both got treated accordingly. The next day, Mr. Grimm improved. He was eating again, swimming, his normal routine. But I noticed the ma was laying on the bottom. She had a swollen belly, which indicated to me she either had a parasite or bloat. Which we all know that Haitiensis are very susceptible to bloat. Even at a large size, they can get it. And once they get it, it's very hard to treat and cure. So, to make a long story short on that, she's no longer in the tank. She's no longer with us. She's out in the garden now. She's a part of the soil compound that I have out there for my plants. It is unfortunate that I lost her. She was about 5 inches when we put her in the ground. It was rough, very rough. I went on about a 3-day spree where I didn't even want to do the fish hobby anymore after we lost her. It was absolutely horrible. Once we moved on from that, I started moving some things around a little bit. I still had the Frimpong Jive pair. I had Sabo and I had the Gold Base Jag Flower Horn Cross, and then I had the 2 Umbies. So I thought to myself, okay, so what am I going to do now? I have 5 tanks. I've lost a lot of interest. I was still it wasn't really a matter of losing interest, as more of the fact was that I was pissed at myself because I wasn't able to do the maintenance that caused this tank to get all fucked up. It was bad. And, you know, I think to myself, what if I wouldn't have been injured? Would I still be able to do this, or would it still be something that I would be struggling with, you know, as I went along? But that was neither here nor there. So anyway, going back to the fish, I had the 55 set, I had the 240s, and then I had a small 20 gallon over there that just had some dump offs in. I had some of the Trimac fry. They were scattered everywhere like roaches. There were so many of them I couldn't get rid of them. I had them up for sale. I was basically volunteering. Hey, you pay for the shipping, I'll send you as many as you want. But I had a hard time getting rid of them. So I had them, some of them in the 55. I had them in another 40. I had them in another 40 over here, and then I had some in the 20. And then I ended up feeding some to the Frempongii, which they loved that. But I mean, even after I fed some to the Frempongii, I didn't even make a dent in them. So I was still kind of in a situation with that. It didn't make things easy at all. It was at that point I decided to get rid of the Frempongii because they were getting too big. I had them for a little over a year, and I couldn't get them to do any breeding, any mating, anything like that. I couldn't even get them close to doing it. Spent a lot of time trying, pairing them, trying to get them together and do their thing, but it just didn't work out. If you go back and look, I have 3 episodes that were dedicated to pairing them. If you want to enjoy those, they were pretty good. But yeah, they were gone first. And then unfortunately I had to get rid of Sabo and his mate, which everybody's seen Sabo. He's about a 7-inch trimac. He was a stunner. He was an absolute stunner, Rio Nilta Patek. He was an awesome fish. And then his mate was a gold base Jaguar Cichlid from my Jaguar horn pair. The extra female that I had, I gave to a breeder in South Florida. He was able to pair her with a male gold base and create that line. So I ended up getting one from him, which turned out to be a female. Put him with the trimac, or put her with the trimac, so that I could try to get some original flower horns going. That didn't work out too well either, before realizing I had to take that tank down. So the 55 is no longer up and running. So now we're right around the timeline, right around August 30th when I took that tank down. Which was rough, man, because I had it up for so long. It was well cycled, had the Jaghorns in it first, then I had the Dovies in it, which the Dovies bred, and then you could go back and see the videos on those as well. So many videos, so many fish were able to procreate in that tank, and then I had to bring it down. Well, it is what it is. Shortened it up, basically, coming into October, my wife got COVID-19. So what do you do when you got COVID? You have to lock yourself down. I wasn't even able to go to the store to get chemicals, which thank God I went and I got Prime and things like that for his tank the week before that. But I wasn't able to do anything at all in the quarantine, which made me realize, maybe, it's time to give it up. And, it's hard to do, man. It's hard to face that realization. This is a hobby that I love. I've got a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of heart invested in this. But it looks like we're going to be bringing her to a close. We won't have any more breeding. The only tank we're going to have, you'll see, is this one from now on. I'll still put up videos on Grim to show you his progress as he gets larger, as he gets bigger. Once we get his 200-gallon tank, which is going to be the showcase of the house here, we'll actually do a video on that. But this is it right here. I just can't do it anymore, y'all. I do want to let everybody know that I greatly appreciate all the support, the views, the follows. I know I was aggravating a lot on Instagram. I'd blow your instant messenger up or your DMs up with links to YouTube videos, which was like almost every day at one point, especially when COVID really got bad. I was dropping videos left and right. But I do thank you all for your support, everything you've done, all your posts, the people that have bought fish from me. I really appreciate that. Please stay tuned though, because you're going to want to see what this guy does. He's getting much bigger, and he's going to continue to get bigger as time goes along. But now you know, back injury and COVID-19 basically brought down the operation, but it all started when we lost Ma. That was a real kick to the nuts when we lost her. That basically took a lot of the wind out of our sails over here when we were with what we were doing, and it just became kind of like like I said before, a back burner type deal. As you can see, see how big he is, starting to get a little bit wider, a little bit taller. His hump's starting to come back. He lost his hump when we lost Ma. You can tell he was depressed too. He's probably just now coming out of it all the way. He knows this tank is his now, so we won't try to breed him. We'll just leave him in here by himself and let him grow, and we'll see what happens. Again, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you for all your support. Make sure you like and subscribe on this video here. Share it. Let everybody know what's going on with Black Magic Cichlids. We're still here, but we're not as big and as spontaneous, to put it lightly, as we used to be with the posts and everything like that. So, but you can keep an eye on it. Keep an eye out for our videos here. Again, make sure you subscribe, follow, share, let everybody know what's going on. I want to thank you for all your support, and thank you for watching today.